Hello, YouTube land! Let's do something we haven't done on the Redneck Computer Geek channel in a long time. Let's do a subscriber update so that you guys can tell me what it is you're interested in and what it is that you want to see more of. So, on a quick update, going into this time of year around here in Maine, normally it's a drought. Normally by now I have utterly, totally stopped even caring about trying to sell lawn tractors. Except for this year, we've continued to have rain, and more rain. Literally, I've woken up every single morning for the last probably 2 weeks to at least some sort of rain came in during the night and condensated and made everything wet. It's been horrible this year. How is it down in your area? Right now, I'm working on setting up in order to go and clean up a bunch of stuff. This is usually the time of year pre-winter, pre-fall, whatever, where I try to go through and junk out as much as I can. And luckily, this year, scrap metal price is going up for once, finally. It's been like 4 years since it was even worth cleaning up my yard. So this year, we're going to haul off a bunch of stuff and get a bunch of cleaning done. But I wanted to share with you guys a few things while we're here in the shop and just show you a few changes and stuff you guys might like. Well, the first big thing is we've been going through cleaning up here in front of the Monte Carlo. We've been pulling out all the body panels that apparently I drunkenly stashed at some point, along with some control arms, a random spindle that I'm assuming must be this side here. And we're going to talk about that build a little bit more so that we can hopefully get back to putting it back together this winter. Now that we have insulation. Well, we got most of the insulation done. We got insulated all the way to the corner there. In order to be able to insulate this, I need to blow this all apart and I need to insulate across there. And then the blue board foam that's over in there was never fully finished. So I've got to finish that up and get that all done. But we're getting closer. The more that I gut the shop and the more that I clean it, the problem is right now the shop is in that state of you got to make it worse before you can make it better. And I'm making progress there. So these are not blue because I like blue. I do like blue, but these are not blue because I like it. These are blue because look at this amazing situation. See that? I was painting these yesterday. You know what that is? I'm going to show you. Oh yeah. Yes Welder got a hold of me and they sent me their welder. If you're somebody who's been welding for a while, this thing will piss you right off. It's a nice unit. If you're somebody who's just starting welding and you want something that has a lot of autopilot features, then this is a really great autopilot welder. If you're somebody who likes to do your own dial-in on everything and you like to finesse it based on what metal you're working with, this thing is a headache to work with. The other thing is they advertise it as working with flux core. That is half truth. It works with 35. It does not work with 30 series flux core. It'll burn holes through anything, any kind of sheet metal like this. It will not dial the flux core down enough to weld this. So just a heads up. I've been using it now for about 2 months off camera from you guys and just giving a little bit of what I think about it. Alright, so back to that. So those are shelving boards, which I now have decided are just going to go into the burn pile because I painted them because there's supposed to be a shelf here. And you can see that there is a shelf here. Except for what I discovered, and this is utterly gross. Yeah. Oh yeah. So As you guys know, when I feature products in videos and stuff, I post Amazon links. I have pulled the link for this $160 set of shelves. That is insanely uncool. That is gross. There is no bloody way. I've had these shelves set up for less than a few weeks now, and they are mold rotten to the point that they are collapsing. So I'm going to have to redo every single one of those shelving pieces with plywood. I was hoping that I could paint the set that I hadn't put on and it would save them. But that's 3 coats worth of paint, and as you saw, it's molding through the paint. High quality stuff right there, I'll tell you. So right now I'm working on the dragsters. I've got parts for the mobility scooter build in order to be able to give it a real actual steering system in the front and do some stuff there. If you guys are interested in that, please leave me a comment about whether that's something you're interested in. A lot of times I go down through the comments on subscriber updates and I look to see what people comment about the most and assume that's a good idea to go back through and do. I'm working on the dragsters over on RCG Racing. I will post up an independent video, a bulk video about all the dragsters and what my plans are. So we're going to walk away from that right now and come out here. I got in the seal for that. We're going to work on that. The Toro that has been driving me bonkers is finally going to go up for sale. I got Bouncy put back together the other day, and I've been debating on doing a build with John on this Cub Cadet here. This Cub Cadet uses one of the 314, 618 series hydro gears, like what we did in the Hydro Dragster. So I'm debating integrating some of that rear end hop up kit from the Dragster into a build for John. The goal being about, I don't know, say like 15-ish miles per hour. We made the Hydro Dragster do about 25, but it's not a long-term running idea. So I'm thinking maybe like 15 or so. What do you guys think? Build something out of that for John? We've got the MTD with the Craftsman hood that is all set up. We're going to be putting this plow on it that I had to replace the cutting edge on and stuff. Those cutting edges, if you're ordering these off of Amazon, read the reviews, because I should have. I found a cutting edge that was the right length, and I just immediately ordered it because of it being the right length, and discovered that not a single one of the holes lined up. So what I discovered is different manufacturers, even though they're the same exact length on the plow, they drill the holes in different spots to make it proprietary to the different manufacturer. So I was able to drill this out and change it and put a cutting edge on it. But that was a learning experience for me, that they have ratings on the hole distance for different people. The zero turn turned into an utter total clustery headache, and we ended up with brand spanking new tires on the rear. These are Wandas. I've had really good luck with the Wanda brand, and so we're running these 8.58 Wandas on here. These actually grip really well. I was very surprised. I was expecting these to show up and be just junky tires. I know, Fuzz. I've got the camera. That means I have to pay attention to you to get you to go away. I know. I'm trained. Yes, I'm trained. Meow. And the other thing about this is it developed a right royal twit of a safety switch. So we had to take the safety and put a jumper thing in it in order to be able to use this unit. And I've got blades in, about to go on, and we're going to throw this up for sale and get it out of here. I've tried using it around the property, and it is just too bloody bouncy. My property is not level by any means, and if this is any indication of what it's like to ride on a zero turn on this property, I will never ever mow this property with a zero turn. That is one really hard ride on the back of there, even with the springs and everything. And I'd rather ride on a crummy little MTD to do this any day compared to using this thing. And John's been slowly learning how to drive that. We'll make sure to go and get a lawn bird update in here pretty soon. We actually went to the Owl's Head Transportation Museum for Truck Day and discovered that if you show up with something that is old enough, they'll let you in for free to the show. I've got a bunch of video for that I'll be posting up later in order to show you guys what was at the Owl's Head Transportation Museum for Truck Day. It wasn't just trucks, it was a lot of older vintage tractors and stuff also. So you guys will be seeing that soon here on Redneck Computer Geek. And over here, now I know you guys want a house update, and there will be a full house update coming out soon. I haven't gotten it to the point that I think it's relevant to do an update. I just recently hit the point of I've got most of the high quality people trash out. So I want to get a little bit of the structural reorganizing done first, and then we'll do an update on that. As far as the shed here is concerned, I've been cleaning out a lot of stuff. The frame that's been sitting here forever is now reduced to the side panels that I always save for welding projects. We managed to go and get a really nice rack top for the Van Hollen project, so I can't wait to get started on that. And we had a motor that I traded for the dozer build, because I needed a single cylinder that I could just throw on there, because I need to keep the motor as thin as possible so that I can have the tracks going beside it. And so this was done in a trade deal so that we could be able to progress with that project. So thank you very much for that, and I appreciate it. And we're currently cleaning down through. We've got the body for the mobility scooter build. We've got a random transaxle here that we haven't quite decided. This is a really strange square cut gear 2-speed transaxle that went with the Craftsman that had the Very Drive. Which actually, if you're in my area and you have any interest in this, if you're in Maine, I will gladly talk with you about this going away. So this tractor here is the Very Drive tractor that I did, and it uses a really weird 66.5-inch belt. And as far as I can tell, nobody has produced that belt in probably the last 12 years from what I could find. So it's a really cool hood. It's a really weird setup. And, you know, we got the motor running last year at the end of the season. But it's a plastic hood. It's not metal. So this is plastic. These are metal, and I just can't bring myself to decide what to do with it or cut it up or something. So if anybody's interested in this and you're in the Maine area, reach out to me and maybe we can work a deal on this idea. So right now we're loaded up with all kinds of scrap metal in order to start cleaning up the yard. I ended up with this out of a trade deal that I was working in order to be able to end up with a bunch of other metal. You can see there's some nice square stock steel to work with over there. And if I walk over here for a sec, over there you can see that there's a bunch of other stuff. And there's a big frame out piece right there. And a bunch of metal that I can use for different projects around here. So we're hauling that off. The last load that I did that was about this much metal was, I did some transmissions, and they pay a little bit more for transmissions. I did also find out that my junkyard in my area will process engine blocks, as long as they've been gutted and cleaned and stuff, will process engine blocks at transmission prices. And transmission price is a little bit higher than irony aluminum, so it's worth doing it that way. But this load, 2 transmissions on the rear, rest of it light iron, was $96 the last load. So we'll see what this one comes out as. I had this listed. I tried to sell it. Every tire kicking, one tooth wonder, meth addict, whatever, made me the stupidest, hey, would you trade it for an Xbox that hasn't run in 3 years, whatever type offers. I think at this point, we can figure out something to do with it on the channel. We'll do something with it, and then go from there. That's officially mine to do something with. I haven't quite decided. If I can get the big MTD up and running, we're going to take that and probably sell it. I just ended up with this for a $100 bill. We're going to take a look at that and probably do a repower on it soon. And then the good old-fashioned junkyard. And the ice racer looking very sad, piled in a bunch of weeds. So there we go, just a quick little rundown. How are you guys doing, and what's going on in your neck of the woods, and all that kind of fun jazz. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully tractor flipping has been far more profitable in your area than it is in mine right now. And stay tuned, the more videos soon. Just had to deal with a bunch of life monkey wrenches. Have a good day.